I'm here now.
Destiny, welcome to the Widow's Parlor. I trust the accommodations are to your liking?
It was okay. I'm surprised that they didn't give me looks when I walked in.
I let them know ahead of schedule. They were concerned, understandably, but I assured them it would be fine.
Why would they be concerned about me?
They were concerned you'd attack me before our match, to get an advantage. I'm prepared for that eventuality, but I think it won't be needed.
How do you know that I won't?
I don't. I can't predict what you may do, but you did say you wanted to talk, and I offered to help you rehabilitate your knee, so the question is, what do you wish to do?
We'll talk. Then I'll consider your offer.
Excellent. So, what do you wish to know?
Why do you want to know so much about me?
I admit, I arrived in DCA before you'd made your return, so there isn't much I do know. So enlighten me.
See this knee? It was shattered when I was younger. Doctors told me I had less than 1% of a chance to walk again. But I beat those odds. I got into wrestling because I loved it. I won my first title, the Queens of Wrestling Soul Silver Championship. People were happy for me, loved me, respected me. Then it was all stolen from me, and those ungrateful people just moved on without me, forgot me. So I forgot about them. And now look at me, the champion they never deserved to have.
But did they really forget? When you returned, did they cheer? At least at first?
Sure, but that's what they always do when people come back. They cheer you at first, they give you the false sense of security, until you realize that they didn't really cheer because you came back. They cheer because it's the norm. It's like a sacred tradition. The next week, people were right back to forgetting me again, making assumptions, judgments. The cycle continued.
I see. May I tell you a story? You might have heard it before, but bear with me. Indulge me, if you will.
Sure, whatever.
Everyone has heard of the NWO, I'm sure. The iconic stable of outsiders, rule breakers, and the like. Their t-shirts are still being sold today, if I recall. In the independent scene, there was a chapter of the NWO we had to endure, led by, you may scoff at this, David Flair.
Excuse me?
In my circle, David Flair was quite competent, but very much rebellious. The superstar, as he called himself. And he had formed his version of the NWO with a great many individuals with the sole intention of taking over the company we were in. They nearly succeeded as well. They were very potent as a faction.
Where is this going, Oseko?
This is where it's going. I joined the NWO, turned against my friends, my fans, and became David Flair's right hand.
And what happened then? I thought you were all goody two-shoes.
I'm a ninja, a master of the art of deception, and I had a plan to infiltrate the faction, gain their trust. And then, one night, the eventual match happened. An 8-person elimination match. The winner would take the entire company. And that's when I struck. 1 KNS to David's head. The NWO was defeated, disbanded, and the company was saved.
So what are you trying to tell me?
When I explained my actions the next night, the fans understood. My friends took longer to trust me. So, when you say the fans just gave up, I see it as, well, if I may be blunt, you didn't give them more of a chance.
Is that so? How do you figure?
It's true that the fans can be fickle at times, but at the same time, they're the type that can forgive you for your transgressions. They're the type who can cheer even outright monsters if the foes they're facing are even more monstrous. Like Zero. You may remember, perhaps, our battle with Zero earlier this year.
I heard about it.
Many of us in AES, on both sides, faced off against that threat, our very reality at stake. But when one of its own followers, an individual by the name of Zebediah Thurston, turned it on and helped deliver one of the crushing blows we needed to win the day, well, suffice to say the fans who witnessed that event, albeit online, were quite appreciative of Zebediah's efforts. What I'm saying, Destiny, is that you give the fans too little credit. You think they're not worth your time, but you are worth theirs. You always will be. That's their loyalty to us. I, for one, merely return the loyalty they give me. That's a part of who I am. I would never truly turn on them. Fans, friends, family. Life is too short for that. I know that. From the harshest of experiences. But that's just from my own point of view. What you do with my words is up to you.
I still don't see why you care so much.
I care because they care. As I said, I return the loyalty they give me. They may boo and jeer, but they still appreciate you. When you fight, when you show that spirit, when you defeat your enemies with your own skill and your own power with no help, they can't help but admire that, because that's the destiny that they remember, that they love and cheer for. Which is why it hurts them to see you go against who they believe what you really are. They want to see you succeed, but not as you are now. And you don't have to return to what you were, but as what you could be. Do I make sense?
I don't... These people don't see me that way anymore. I'm too far gone now. There's no way that they'll take me back after all I've done. And that's the road I've gone down.
They all say that. But the fans still accept them, no matter what. I've been doing this for over 20 years, Destiny. I've seen these scenarios play out so many times. You might say that I'm... What's that term Yuki Marie uses? Oh, yes, genre savvy.
I don't.
That's up to you. It always has been. It always will be.
I get that, but I'm talking about you. Surely, you didn't just have me come here and tell me all these things without a reason other than to tell me it's your choice. I'm a little smarter than that.
Oh, I know. Call it food for thought. I simply wished for you to gain a better perspective. What you do with it all is, as I've said, up to you. That, and it's somewhat refreshing for two eventual foes to speak to one another before the war we will no doubt have, to gain some kind of clarity from each other, is it not?
I guess. At least you aren't yelling hate at me just by me being in the same room as you. Then again, I would have deserved that too.
That's just it, though. Hate isn't something I like to feel, even against mortal enemies. It's easier to love. Or at the very least, understand.
And you want to actually understand me? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, and I believe I do now. And you? What is your impression of me?
I never said you didn't have talent or ability, if that's what you're trying to get out of me.
But what of myself, as a person? You must think I'm some kind of fool for thinking so out of the box, don't you?
No, I don't.
That's good. Most people on your side of the fence usually think that way. Mainly because this business has changed them considerably.
Just because the business changes you doesn't mean that you don't know someone who has done as much as you have.
Good. That's proof, then, that you aren't as far gone as you believe yourself to be.
Maybe. Maybe not.
Well, shall we start working on your knee, then? From what you've told me, I know some techniques that might help.
So that I can be at my best for you, correct?
Of course. I've seen you fight and persevere even at less than 100%. So I can only imagine how good you can really be when you're truly at your best.
You should know the answer to that.
So of course, let me help you get to that level. Then at the end of our fight, regardless of who wins, we won't have any regrets.
Sure, if you think that's important to you.
It should be to you, shouldn't it?
I need it.
Then let us begin.